anyway, this recipe comes from the Shred cookbook, but we have a bunch of cookbooks. We have a Tower Garden cookbook that is awesome for if you're growing your own plants. We have a complete cookbook, and we can gift you. We have just a plant-based, mostly plant-based. And remind me tonight if I forget, because I was telling everybody as they were coming in that I can't cook and talk. So this is going to be real fun trial for me. I am not a great cook, but I am a healthy cook. And I have, well, let's just get started. Let's see. We need to record this. We're going to record this and get started.
The watch party started.
Okay. Great. And so we are really glad that you are here. I am Debbie Walton, and we're in Spring Hill, Tennessee, and we're pretty snowed in, but my husband was able to go to the grocery store and replace my cumin because I was almost out. Well, I was out. I love cumin. I usually put a little extra in the soup, but it gives it a real earthy flavor. But I learned about plant-based eating, eating more plants about 37 years ago. I have really bad family history of disease. My mom, dad, grandparents on both sides. So I got really interested in trying to do all I could to stay healthy because I wanted to live to raise my girls. And I'm sure, and now I want to keep a good mind, a healthy mind. And so, as I started experimenting, now years ago, my husband would not eat many plants. So you're going to hear what transformed him. But now he will go plant-based without meat several times a week. I never thought I'd ever be able to say that. And we are not vegetarian. We eat, I eat a little wild-caught salmon occasionally. Just don't crave it anymore. Don't desire it anymore. Our body was designed to function best on plants. If you believe in creation, God created the garden, and then he created man and woman to live in that garden and live off plants. So and even if you don't believe in creation, biochemistry has proven that plants full of thousands of phytonutrients are the chemicals, the phytochemicals that our body needs. So what we are in a healthy living community, and we have a whole group on Facebook. If you want to know more about that, ask us, where we inspire one another to try more recipes, to move a little more, and to drink more water, to try to get good sleep, and just live a generally healthier life, because life is happier when you're not dealing with health issues. And so the veggie tortilla soup that we're gonna cook tonight is super simple. You can adapt it, but let's get going. Janet, do you wanna add anything to that?
Yeah, I just wanted to say hi and say I'm Janet Pillsbury. I'm also part of this healthy living community. I'm in Indianapolis, Indiana, and I started my plant-based eating journey with my children. Started with my daughter. Used to get ear infections all the time back when she was 4 years old, and we were in the doctor with another ear infection, and the doctor had suggested that we look at going dairy-free, and I laughed at her hysterically, thinking there's no way we could go dairy-free, and we did, and lo and behold, her ear infections went away. And then my son was allergic to tomatoes, onions, and green peppers. He developed eczema, very severe eczema, and the doctor suggested we go gluten-free, and I laughed hysterically and said there's no way, but we gave it a try. And it did improve things and make things better, but it wasn't until we discovered really flooding his body with whole food nutrition. And once we got enough nutrition in his body to calm the inflammation, the eczema went away. And so we just began to discover the power of whole food nutrition. And I'm a teacher, so I'm ground zero for all kinds of germs and all kinds of stuff going on. And I haven't had a sick day in 5 years. So I'm going to stick with healthy living, my exercise, my sleep, my water, because it's working for us. And we're excited for this recipe tonight. So
I love that, Janet. I love it. And I know you've been e-learning, teaching, helping your kids learn, and teaching students today, so that your brain is even here.
That's okay. I've got my
Yeah. So what we're going to do tonight is I pre-cut some of the things so that we don't take too long and keep you too long, and we will make sure you have this full recipe. But do you know that you can really cut down on your oil? And America has way too much fat in their diet, you guys. Some healthy fats, yes, are good, but America has way too much unhealthy fat. And if you have any heart disease, this is Heart Month, if you have any heart disease in your, immediate family, it's really, and especially if you do, it's really recommended to go extremely low fat. And you can ask me for that research later, but I love the organic vegetable broth. And we just get it from, I think this one was from Kroger. And I am going to put it in my Cuisinart. I love this thing for soup. A couple of tablespoons. You don't have to be exact. I am not an exact cook, and I substitute a lot of things. So we'll talk about that tonight. But so you can use vegetable broth to saute your vegetables. You do not need oil. And I remember a client being so shocked at that change. She said, I never knew I could cook and, saute in anything other than vegetable oil or some kind of oil. And so I've got that broth heating up a little bit. I've already cut one red bell pepper. I want to show you, it doesn't really matter how you cut, but if you want an easy way to cut, let me flip this around. I hope you can see that. I have one really good knife. My daughter's boyfriend is a excellent chef, and he turned me on to, I think it's J.A. Hinkle. So if you're gonna cook much, get yourself at least one good knife. So I cut the top off that red bell pepper. I'm gonna reach in and pull out the seeds, okay? And then there's a little bit left of this white rim. I don't want to take too much of that out because you guys, that's really good fiber. Just get the seeds out. Just knock the seeds out. And then cut your bell pepper in half and then slice it. And I've seen this on chef shows, curl your fingers so you keep the fingertips. I would tell you a story about my daughter using when she was really young. She's a great cook, much better than me. She was anyway, she did a pretty serious fingertip cut. We ended up in the emergency room, so I'm careful about those fingertips. And then I just line all those slices up, okay, and chop them, not too fine. I like to have a little bit of something to chew in this soup. So, okay. And then you got any other way you want to share chopping a red bell pepper?
Mine different. It's funny. And I cut mine already. So I take mine and I cut it this way. I go from the top and I cut it all the way around this way. And then I cut a circle around it. So it ends up becoming like two halves. And
yeah, that's cool.
Something different.
Yeah, there you go.
But did you know that red, yellow, and orange peppers are actually all the same kind of pepper? It's just that the red, yellow, and orange ones they're ripened more. So greens, you actually want to eat more red, yellow, and orange peppers because they have more nutrition and they're more fully ripened than the green ones. The green ones are the babies. They're like the green bananas of the fruit. They're also really high in vitamin C than any other produce item. In fact, it says a large red pepper provides more than 300% of your daily recommended vitamin C, and it has 3 times more vitamin C than an orange. So we always talk about vitamin C from oranges all the time, but why doesn't anybody talk about a red bell pepper? This has it has more vitamin C than an orange. Like, isn't that crazy?
And it's fabulous to dip in hummus. So we do another make your own hummus because you can make your own hummus so easy and make it oil free. You don't have to have the tahini. So thank you. I love that. And I didn't know they were the same pepper, but I did know that the red has more nutrition than the green for sure. But the green are still good to eat. It's still a good plant. So garlic, one of my absolute favorite plants. As a matter of fact, I love it so much I have a garlic keeper. But if you buy garlic, just have it where it can aerate a little bit, that it gets some air, and your garlic will keep longer. And fresh garlic, I used to buy the mince jar, but fresh is so much better, and it's so easy, you guys. I hope you can see this. To get the garlic, to get the peel off the garlic, just take that knife and smash it, whack it, and the peel comes right off. So that's super easy. We love garlic. I go heavy in garlic on dishes. This recipe calls for 3 garlic cloves. I will typically put in 5, but try it first the way it's recommended, unless you are an extreme garlic lover like we are. I don't think it is too heavy a flavor at all. And garlic is fabulous for your immune system. Fabulous. And we need that right now.
Also good for reducing cholesterol as well, too, and lowering high blood pressure. And you know, the average American consumes about 2 pounds of garlic a year.
Oh, well, we do a lot more than that. So we're eating, isn't eating enough garlic.
Right. This is my garlic press. I have one like this. So you drop it.
Look at you.
And you just give it like a little squeeze, and all the garlic squishes out the other side.
I need to get that. As much garlic as we eat, I need that.
I do this thing all the time. It's so easy to use.
That's a kitchen gadget I would love.
You can use garlic to make glue too.
Teacher. Okay.
And apparently, I heard that you can, if you take slices of garlic, you can lay it on your acne, and it will help your acne clear up and get better.
Wow. And it will keep your boyfriend away.
Right? It'll make people stay away. But you know, acne. It's also be good for cold sores too. If you get a cold sore, a little slice of garlic on your cold sore is supposed to make it feel better too.
Interesting.
Of course, nobody will kiss you.
This big cutting board, because I can cut so much on it, and the rim is where I push the things I don't want going in the soup until I put them in the what is that thing called when you put it in your garden?
Compost.
I'm sorry, what?
Composting?
Yes, we have a little composting bucket that has a lid under our sink, and my husband takes it to the orchard. So
I didn't know that, Debbie.
Put the red bell pepper, the garlic, and now we're going to put the cumin, which like I already said, I absolutely love cumin. And so I will go a rounded 3 tablespoons. Instead of just, I just like it. It's very earthy. And when I'm throwing together, one of my favorite dishes is just to cook up some rice or quinoa, and I'll make enough for 2 nights. And then I'll put tomatoes, onions, beans, and a lot of cumin. And that goes great on rice. And that's a real easy go-to. I make it about once a week. So you like cumin as much as I do, Janet?
I love cumin. I love onions too. Onions, garlic, and cumin, like 3 favorite things to get.
Yeah. Oh, my onion. I forgot. I went ahead and chopped that up. Thank you. Because I didn't want to cry on you guys.
Sulfuric acid in the onion that makes you cry. Cut it under running water is one thing that seems to help. Put it in there. Do you know that in the Middle Ages, onions were used as currency? You can get
that is neat.
What kind of could that be, right?
And it should be currency because they're so good for you.
Right?
They're one of the, they're also extremely good for your immune system. So I want to show y'all my spoon I got from the Amish. I just love this spoon. Is that beautiful or what?
Beautiful spoon. Is it like curved? It's like flat.
Oh, this is from Tanzania? Oh, this isn't from the Amish. Frank brought it back from Africa. Sorry, I do have a spoon from the Amish, but that's cool, isn't it?
Beautiful.
So somebody makes a vitamin C soup from, and that's great. I love it. Oh, I don't.
Onions good for the immune system. Onions are, you know what else good for? I didn't know this. They're good for osteoporosis.
Oh, yeah, I have heard that. Yeah, that's awesome.
They destroy the osteoclasts, apparently, which are the things that they're bone cells that weaken the bones. So it like makes your bones stronger when you eat onions.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know the stuff that keeps you, oh, what is that classification of medication that I want to say Fosamax, but I haven't come across anybody on this in so long, but it's supposed to help you build your bones, but really it keeps your bones from turning over the dead cells. So it's better to build the healthy cells. So, okay, great. So we're cooking the pepper, onion, garlic, and cumin. Is anybody else cooking along with us? I want to do a gallery.
I see Melanie is cooking with us.
All right, Melanie.
I like never measure anything.
Oh, that's all. I'm not that good. I have to measure.
I don't measure. I never measure. I'm like,
okay, I am going to open my organic tomatoes, crushed tomatoes. If you can, tomatoes are one of the foods. I don't buy every.
We have the same tomatoes.
I love it.
Organic, buy organic tomatoes.
Yes, because there are a few foods that we don't buy everything organic, but there are a few that are the dirty ones that really they use more pesticides on. Tomatoes are one of those, and they taste better. They taste so much better. And right now, this time of year, I would rather eat canned tomatoes than what they call fresh at the grocery store, because they just don't taste that good.
I didn't print out the recipe. Will you call out the amounts that you're using of everything?
Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
Got it. Or you want me to get it? You want to keep going while I?
Yeah, go ahead.
I should check the chat too. Sorry, there's 11 messages in chat. I'll check in a second too.
Okay.
So it's 1 onion, 2 red bell peppers, 2 cloves of garlic or more if you're like Debbie and I, 3 tablespoons of ground cumin, 1 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. That's what we've gotten so far. An onion, 2 red bell peppers, 2 cloves of garlic, 3 tablespoons of cumin, and 1 28-ounce can of tomatoes.
And we'll make sure we post the recipe on the Facebook group and get it to you for sure if you don't have it. Our grocery store was out of green chilies. I had 2 because I try to keep them, but I'm going to try. We can sub and try. That's the great thing about soups is they usually work. I'm going to add a can of Rotel. So we may be good, hot and spicy, but this has diced tomatoes and green chilies. So I'm going to have a little bit more tomatoes, but that's a good thing. So I'm going
to share that Angel had said that back when we talked about colors of green pepper, she said she had a green pepper on her tower garden because you can grow peppers on your tower garden, and she left it and it turned red. She let it fully ripen and it changed colors, which is really cool too.
You know, that's so funny because we bought red bell pepper plants for our tower garden. And when they first grew, they were green. And I told Frank, we got the wrong thing. And I left them and they turned red. And I absolutely I planted 3 bell pepper plants last season outside because they're so expensive in the store. And bell peppers are another one of the dirty foods. So you really should buy them organic. And have you priced organic bell peppers? It's worth it. So I drained my chilies, you guys, and I drained that Rotel too, because I didn't want it that spicy. My husband doesn't like it super spicy. So put those in.
We have somebody else made a comment about, they said they store their garlic in a knee-high stocking hanger from a clothes hanger. That's a fun
yeah.
In a knee-high?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Oh, this is looking so good. So beautiful.
And there's like smell-o-vision. I know, it's like smell-o-vision.
It's smell-o-vision.
Smells so good.
So fun to cook with. We should all get together and cook every night, you guys. We're drinking hot lemon water. Do you know that lemon, if you are speaking, will keep your throat wet so that you aren't, like, have you ever heard speakers get real dry mouth? I do that without lemon water.
And somebody else, is almond flour the same as almond meal?
Yes, I think it is. And what's funny is mine says almond meal flour. And I will tell you, we're sisters.
You have to know we live like hundreds of miles apart from each other.
I live in Tennessee and Janet lives in
Yeah, but
Indiana.
we got the same stuff at the grocery store.
Yeah, I love it. You don't have to add the almond meal. You don't have to add it. It thickens it. But if you don't want to buy it, just keep cooking the soup till it cooks down a little bit. And it's fine. It's fine. You don't have to have it. I meant to tell somebody, I meant to put that in the notes. So now this is heating up. We're going to pour in the broth. Did we have the same broth too? I think we did. Did we?
I have Pacific.
Oh, okay. All right.
Always get the organic one.
So yeah, this is organic.
Like you,
And so because you're mixing a whole lot of vegetables, you guys pay 30 cents more for the organic if you can. And I'm going to say even Pam Popper from Forks Over Knives, she's become a personal friend of mine. She was the first nutritional speaker I heard 17 years ago that said that milk doesn't do a body good and that calcium supplements didn't go to your bones as well as we thought to try to get the calcium in food. And I remember thinking 17 years ago, what is she talking about? Milk isn't good for you, cow's milk. And now, you know, a whole lot of people know that. Did you know that I think it's the gymnastics, some Olympic athletic group is trying to get the Olympics to quit letting the dairy industry advertise on, you know, that milk does a body good. Anyway, that's a different, so
milk. My kids.
So we're not going to use all this vegetable broth. So what I do is pour it into a little cupcake holder. I have a mini cupcake holder and I'll freeze it and put it in a bag in the freezer. And then I can get out a small amount of vegetable broth if I'm sauteing, you know, any vegetables. But if you're just going to stick it, and I'll probably just stick this in the fridge because we saute enough vegetables, I'll use that last cup easy. But make sure you write the date on it unless you're more organized than me, because it's good for about 7 days, I believe. And if I don't write the date on it, I can never remember. And I end up throwing it out because I don't want to poison us over saving a few cents of vegetable broth. So write the date on it.
Debbie, I was just going to add, my kids have never drank milk growing up. And it's like, we forget that that's different than other people until they have friends come over sometimes. And they're like, you don't have milk? Like, we have soy milk. We don't have regular milk. So it's like, it's a matter of like, there are things we take for granted, like doesn't everybody do? But as you learn more about your body and how it works and what makes your body feel good, like one of my sayings I say all the time is like, I feel good when or I don't feel good when I. And so it's like, I feel good when I avoid dairy. I feel good when I eat salad. I feel good when I do this. I don't feel good when I end up with a half a gallon of ice cream in my fridge. You know, that doesn't make me feel good. So
I love that. I love that. I feel good when and you know, and that's a real important point about what do you do in the morning? What are your healthy habits? You know, for me, I get up, I do have a cup of coffee or two, sometimes tea. You know, limited coffee doesn't seem to, it might even have some health benefits. Do my devotional, exercise, and then have a really, really healthy smoothie in the morning that we're going to talk about in a second. And that what you eat for breakfast and what you do in the morning can really set your day, you know, so get into a routine. When you do a routine, you can call it habits, routine. If you will, you know, and get yourself into a healthy routine in the morning, it will really inspire you to want to eat healthier, drink more water the rest of the day. So about, you know, when I was going back to school and learning about nutrition, we've got this on everything in it now, right? Did we put everything in it? We brought it to a boil. Mine was boiling. So, salt, pepper, chili powder.
Chili powder, yeah.
Can you take that over, Janet?
Yeah, salt and pepper, chili powder, just add that in there to taste. Depends on how spicy you like things to be. So I piggyback what you said too. Somebody told me the first 20 minutes of your day are the most important. The first 20 minutes of your day are the most important. They determine how the rest of your day is going to go. So don't grab your phone and scroll Facebook first. It's like take some time to just, do your devotionals, to do some exercise. For me, I have a Mandisa song. What's my song called? Comeback Kid. Mandisa's Comeback Kids is my alarm on my phone. And so when my alarm goes off, that song starts to play and I have to be out of bed in my yoga clothes on my yoga mat before the song ends. That's my challenge.
I love that. And you and I have the same devotional. Jesus Calling. Isn't that the name of it? I've read it for 3 years.
We're gonna let this simmer for about a half an hour. And just let it go. And then after it simmers about 30 minutes, we're gonna add in some corn. I like the fire roasted corn, so I add that in there. We're gonna add some beans, so a can of black beans. We're gonna throw those in there and let that cook just another 10 minutes or so. And then if you want to add, we don't match, but that's okay.
But pinto beans, it calls for black and pinto.
Yeah.
But you can add what you like. Add the beans you like. My husband was not a big bean eater. And when a doctor told a family member about, so when we got married, he would eat meat, potatoes, and, painfully eat about 2 pieces of broccoli. That was about it. Corn, a little corn, but that was about it. And so how do you flood your body with plants every day? Eat as many as you can, but how do you get someone that doesn't like plants to consume a lot of plants? So a doctor told my sister about fruits and veg in a capsule, and I thought it was a multivitamin, and I refused to look at it because the nutritional science, even 17 years ago, actually 30 years ago, started turning away from multivitamins, saying it was too few of nutrients. The fruits and veg we have put in this, and that I'm going to add some, you don't have to add the greens, but we like to, represents thousands of phytonutrients, thousands. You got zucchini, I love it. So a multivitamin might have 50 phytonutrients or vitamins, minerals, and they're supersized. They're unnaturally high quantity. So when I really looked at this, I refused to look at it for a little bit. So if you have ever been asked to look at fruits and veg in a capsule and you refuse to, that's okay. But just open your mind and get educated. When I saw that it had a nutrition facts label, I went, wait, that's what food has, like frozen broccoli. It doesn't say supplement facts. So I started researching it. And at the time, they had about 20 published clinical studies, double-blind, placebo-controlled, published in top medical journals. The one that really got my attention was the one published in the Journal of American College of Cardiology, saying that this was really good for cardiovascular. And that was a big issue in my family. So we started on the fruit and veg and berry. They didn't have the omega. And my husband, that had been taking chondroitin glucosamine for over a year for his achy joints, in 2 weeks, his knee noticeably reduced, the inflammation and the pain greatly reduced, and he was shocked. And I was, quite frankly, very surprised at how quick. It doesn't happen that quick for everybody. But at 2.5 months, I was out running my running partner. A few months later, my daughter's eczema started clearing up. That's an autoimmune. All of our immune systems improved. There's 4 published studies on immune function. And then 2.5 years, they came out with a fishless omega. You guys, omegas are the #1 thing that doctors say we all should be taking. 90% of Americans are thought to be low in omegas. This is fishless. It's from the algae plant, so no risk of toxins from the ocean. It's also 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. And then that Breakfast I told you about that I start every morning just about with is this incredible smoothie mix that has 8 grams of your good gut fibers, favorite fiber. It's a prebiotic. That is far better than a probiotic. Probiotic is throwing a few strains of live bacteria down your throat, and that can be helpful, like if you're on heavy antibiotics, but it's better to feed the good gut bacteria. And when we had been on this 2 months, I said, I'm going to look at that shake. 2 weeks on this, and my husband said, why are things starting to taste so sweet? And what we've learned now is that when you feed that good gut bacteria, that's what controls your cravings. This is what changed my husband and so many more. And then we grow our own on the Tower Garden. I'll show y'all in a minute. But I want to bring Laura Goad while this is boiling and we're about to finish up. I want to bring a real good girlfriend of mine that I've known for years. And Laura, I'm going to bring you up and pin you and unmute you. Let me see if I can. Oh, you have to unmute yourself. I can't unmute you. The bottom. Yeah, you got it.
Okay, can you hear me?
Hear you. Can you share your story? What's happened in the last 4 weeks?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I could go on forever, but I'm going to try to make this short. I'm not as educated as Debbie and Janet are on all this nutrition, but I'm starting and I'm trying. And I mean, the way I'm feeling has made me want to be a believer. I had gallbladder surgery 8 years ago, and ever since then, I have had IBS and gut issues every single day. And every time I would eat, I mean, if I would just even have a snack, I would have to run to the bathroom. It was embarrassing. When we were out, my husband and I were out to eat dinner, I would have to run to the bathroom before I could even leave the restaurant. And I talked to my doctor about this, and she told me this was all normal because I didn't have a gallbladder. And so I accepted that fact and thought this was the way my life was going to be the rest of my life. And I'm a plus 30-year Weight Watcher member. I thought I was, knew how to eat. And, I'd get on and off the program. My stomach kept growing. And in desperation, I called Debbie and I said, Debbie, I am in bad shape here. Something is wrong with my stomach. I mean, I even told my doctor, you've got to x-ray my stomach. Something is wrong with it. I've got an ulcer. I had pain every day in my stomach. So anyway, I talked to Debbie, and of course she calmed me down and told me just to try taking 2 Juice Plus shakes a day, breakfast and lunch, eating a plant-based diet for dinner. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do this plant-based thing. She's like, because my husband is a meat eater, and she's like, just take it slow. Don't deprive yourself from anything. And, just feel comfortable with it. Just ease into it, which is exactly what I did. I started drinking 2 shakes a day, breakfast and lunch. At night, some nights I went without meat. I couldn't really believe it, but I did. I went without meat. If I fix meat for my husband, I might have 2 ounces of it, but I still had it there for him. And let me tell you all, within a week, I mean 1 week, my IBS and my gut health was phenomenal. I mean, it was so cured that
Well, we can't say cured. So much better.
We can't say cured, but we can say so much better. I feel normal now. I mean, I feel normal. And I'm feeling so much better. And so I just can't say it. And now my husband brought me breakfast in bed the other morning for Valentine's Day, a sausage biscuit. And I'm like, I don't want that. I want my Juice Plus shake. So I got up, I fixed my chocolate shake, my banana in it. And I'm craving it. I don't have any cravings anymore. I don't want any sweets anymore. And Debbie, you're exactly right. Everything tastes so sweet to me now. So it's been just a life-changing thing for me. And, I've been on it 4 weeks and I've lost 10 pounds, and I'm planning on being on it the rest of my life. I'm learning as we go. I appreciate you and Janet telling us all this nutritional stuff that I don't know. But it's just wonderful. I love what I'm eating, and my husband's eating it as well, and he's doing real well. He's diabetic, and he's lost weight. We did go to Red Lobster for Valentine's Day, and he kind of overdid it. I didn't. I did real well, and he goes like, "I gained 5 pounds overnight," and I'm like, "Well, there you go." But and he didn't feel well, so he's getting into it as well, the eating, and we're eating a lot of kale and cabbage and just fresh vegetables and fruit, and I just love it. I just can't say enough about it. You've changed my life.
Oh, Laura, you brought me so much joy. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear, and you were ready, and you trusted.
Well, I was
But
in so much pain.
Yeah.
My stomach, I was in so much pain for years. I had to do something, and I didn't know there was any answer out there.
Yeah. And what you did was you added something that is feeding that good gut bacteria, so the changes come faster. What we want to do is really throw the prebiotic, and then you were eating really healthy meals. Like I sent you the cookbook, and
Right.
my favorites. Oh, there's
Yes.
one of those stink bug just landed on my shoulder. How can it survive in the snow? But anyway, you tried the different recipes. I think
Right.
one y'all didn't really love, but that's the point, is you're going to try new recipes anyway. Why not try healthy ones?
Exactly.
Ones that you can rotate, that your whole family loves. And so it wasn't just Juice Plus, it was the more plants. But isn't it crazy? I call this my secret weapon and my only addiction. The body literally, at least mine did, and you just said yours did, starts craving it.
Oh, I will never go a day without drinking a shake. I mean, I'm still drinking 2 shakes a day, and I'm a very structured person. I love to know what I'm going to do, and I still drink 2 shakes a day. That's just comfort to me. And I've got my kids on it, Grant's on it, Cassie's on it. She's a respiratory therapist. She knows all about health and nutrition, and they love the shake. And I can't say enough good things about the shake.
And you can, I put it in oatmeal on cold mornings.
Oh, Debbie, that dessert you told me in the oatmeal bar. Oh my gosh. You can make that and just take a little square if you want something sweet at night, and it lasts forever. It's wonderful.
Yeah, you made it for the Super Bowl party.
Yeah, I made all
and
healthy
it was a
shakes, made all healthy treats for the Super Bowl party. I just can't believe I ever did that, because I would always just go off of it and make fattening stuff. But it was perfect.
I love it.
It was just perfect.
Thank you, Laura, for sharing it. And I can't wait to watch the rest of your continued health journey. It's just going to get better and better.
We're going to Cancun next week, and I know I'm going to stay on track when I go, because they've got a bunch of fruits and healthy food, and they got a smoothie bar.
I love it. And you get to go on vacation feeling better.
I know, I do.
So much. Thank you for sharing, Laura. Appreciate you so much. I can't wait to I love being closer to you. So I'm going to unpin.
And Janet, I'm just right here in New Albany. We're going to have to get together, girlfriend.
We will. Thank you so much for sharing your story, Laura. And as we wrap things up tonight, we just want to know and tell everybody there's hope. There's hope. We hear things like that over and over and over again, of people who think that there is no hope, that the life that they've been handed, or the condition they're in right now, is what they're going to have to learn to live with the rest of their life. And there are some chronic health disease that the body has just been worn down. But there is good news for the vast majority of things, that good nutrition and healthy lifestyle can make an amazing difference. So
huge.
I just want to invite you to reach back to whoever invited you to this call, to have a conversation with them. Know that person invited you because they love you, because they see possibilities that you may not see yet yourself. And so reach back to them and have a conversation, and know that this family is all about loving other people and doing what we can to walk alongside you to just bless you and to just bring goodness into your world. So we are so glad that you were able to join us tonight. We hope that you take this one recipe and then multiply it many times over. The person who invited you will send you the link to the Healthy Living Revolution or to the Shred 10 cookbook. We will be happy to share this cookbook with you. So follow with that person, make sure you get that cookbook. And if you can just find a few recipes, your world can change in a million different ways. So thank you for being with us tonight. If you have questions, reach back to the person that spoke out to you. Debbie and I will hang on to the Zoom.